Hello, this is Michael from the Board Games Chronicle. I would like to invite you to the 12th battle scenario. Today, we will be playing the Operation Landcrab. So far, we played all the engagement scenarios, already every reef of the Wake Island. Then, as a training scenario, we also looked at the Indian Ocean adventure. And now we are playing kind of a trilogy of Aleutians. So this part of the Northern Pacific, where we first play the Aleutians. So that means the initial attack of Japanese to take Kiska and Attu. Yeah. Then we had the Kiska convoy, the scenario which was telling us about trying to reinforce the attempt to reinforce those points here with engineers. And now, and in those two first scenarios, the Japanese were the operating initiative player. Now we'll have the Americans trying to get back both the Attu and also here probably Komandorski. Yeah. This is also another of the small battle scenarios, maybe not so small as the previous two. As you can see, we have plenty of forces here. I took liberty because all units start as forces to split them already into the task forces. Let me start with the Japanese. Whom do we have? First of all, we have a task force here, task force 1 and task force 2. They are here. These are many destroyers and some cruisers. Why they are split in two? Because according to the rules, in one task force you can have up to the 6 capital ships or 4 non-capital ships. And I will remind you that capital ships are carriers, battleship, and battle cruisers. Just checking, double checking the rule, but yes, that's exactly what does it say. So we have those two task forces here. We have a force 1, which is that tactical bomber. Then here, force 2 are the actual forces occupying the Attu. This is the regiment and this is the battalion. What's interesting here in Komandorski, we have this CVS that would be one of the carriers, seaplane carrier, yeah, with a long-range aircraft. They will be very helpful when trying to search for Americans. On the American side, first and foremost, we have Task Force 1. Here is a Task Force 1. That would be this APD. Yeah, these guys are here. And they have two regiments. They start over here. Then we have a task force 2, a huge task force 2. Really, the Americans managed to amass a huge force because you can see what we have here. We have a whole division being transported. We have 1, 2, 3 battleships. We have light carriers, some destroyers, and cruisers. That alone could probably take Attu. On top of this, we have also Task Force 4 here. These are cruisers, destroyers, and another regiment. And except for this, we have Task Force 1 here, long-range aircraft and some fighters, fighters. Task Force 3 and 4, they will be, I believe, here. Yes, this is Task Force 4 here. Task Force 4 and Task Force 3. We probably need to find them. Task Force 2, Task Force 1, Task Force 4. We have Task Force 2. See, guys, I should move them simply here. Yeah, that was the confusion. Okay. What are the victory conditions? Because that's important. Japan is decisive if they control Attu at the end of the scenario. So they control here. Japan is marginal if they sink as many or more capital ships than they lose. The capital ships on the American side are here. These are battleships and this CVE, so carrier. US marginal control add to at the end of scenario and sink more capital ships when they lose. US decisive control add to at the end of scenario, sink more capital ships when they lose, and take no ground losses while at sea. Draw any other results. From the special rules, we again will be running for weather. We are playing now, let us put it correctly, we are playing in May 43. So the weather should be reasonably okay. This is North, yes, this is March, May. Okay, not so good. A lot of possibilities for squall, fog, only a couple on clear. We can use optional long-range aircraft night bombing. This is for 34.9. So mainly those LRAs would be able to attack during the night, but with a strength of 0. There will be also one possibility once per game to attack with submarines against any naval unit. Both sides has such a possibility with a strength of 2. And if the ship which is transporting the unit takes a hit, that counts as 2 hits against the transported units. The allies can only land here, and of course all units must legally deactivate or be considered sunk. The farthest east the US can deactivate is Adak Island. Not sure if Adak is here. Adak is here. Okay. And that will be all. So here are our phases. This time the operating player is the US, so slightly different play than previously. And I think we are ready to start. So we are moving with our operational naval move here, and we are in operational player contact phase. So we move 1, and how would you like to move? We move our task forces forward, of course. There will be no search, we are too far away still. Doesn't make sense, although we might want to search with those long-range bombers, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, if we would like to. But let me see, can they do it? Yeah, they can do it. So if they can do it and they can do it, maybe we would like to search for both task forces. Although, remember, as per the rules, the only forces you need to search for are task forces. Forces are always deemed as maybe not visible, but searched, yeah. Okay, this went 1, this went 1, this is 1, and we have a day passing. That means that we roll for a weather, and the weather is 4, which is fog. Just as a reminder, the fog causes we need to use the procedure for random air mission cancellation. No air missions can be undertaken in dusk or night lightning, and we add 3 to die roll when searching for enemy naval units. Okay, no, we will move here, and now after this move the Japanese can already interrupt. The operation has 21 days, and so plenty of them for both sides. Would they like to interrupt? No, not yet. Let them sail a little more. Actually, let them sail 2 times more. And then we have a day, and then we roll for a weather. And we have 9, which is, I believe, a squall. And just to read you a little about squall, add 2 to the die roll when searching for enemy naval unit. Okay, let me allow them to move 3 more times. 1, 2, 3. Okay, and I think we'll have a search during those 3 moves, because 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We potentially could already search there with Japanese, yeah, because we have search at 8 hexes. So let me assume that I was searching here, not 0. This is the first move. They moved here, so 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, everything is fine. Just checking if I have those things correctly done. Now we have those 3 additional moves. Let me move with those guys first. 1, 2, 3, and 1, 2, 3. I will not search for them. We'll search for those which will be coming closer. They don't need to be fast, so let me search on this space and on this space. This 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5, and 6. Yeah, I'm kind of, speeding up the things. You should do it 1 move, 1 roll, 1 move, 1 roll. 5 and 6 is 0 to 1 for 6 for Japanese long range, and 0 to 2 for 5. So 6 not found. And now they are spotted. Okay, and I think now the Japanese would like to interrupt as an reacting player. They can say stop after reaching the 2, and they have now 7 activations. In the first activations, they will sail out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's what they will do. And during each of those activations, they can also search 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They can search. It will be 7 searches for this task force 1. Not that it will matter a lot, because before they come here in battle cycle, they will be will remove the search. But for the sake of the clarity of the game, 1, 2, yes, so they are spotted. And that would conclude that phase. By the way, we have also the 3rd day passed, so we need to check the weather conditions. And the weather condition is clear, at least here. And now one thing, guys, which I forgot. We had, of course, the squall, so it was +2 to the die rolls. So there was no possibility of spotting those 2 task forces. And you see, in a bad weather, which actually was here in the North Pacific, that was the case. Now we go to the lightning. Do we want for Americans to use their special ability to set the lightning? No, not yet. Let them just simply roll. 8 and 8, I believe, is day PM. Now, advantage determination. We roll and see who rolls more. So the Japanese are first. First of all, they move 2 hexes. And then they will be searching. They don't have a potential to strike, and they have a potential to move those planes. That's kind of interesting. Yeah, seaplane bases are temporary air bases that can be established during the course of play. And unfortunately, those CVS can have either only LRA or CV-capable fighter L0 units. So yeah, we cannot move those tactical bombers here. A pity. So that was advantage movement, but during this advantage movement, we would like to do some search too, of course. We search for 4 guys, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is nice weather, good weather. So we roll on, I believe, 0 to 2. Yes. And no, they didn't found. Now, what the Americans will do we don't do any kind of air missions. We jump here to bombardment, ground combat, airfield repair, rally, disadvantage movement. They will come closer. They will not yet, move this initial task force. So we are getting closer. Do we want to do any kind of air missions? We might. They have range of 3, so no way to get here. And the task force one does not have a. They hit on 0 and on 0 versus ground forces, so I would rather not even try it. Although if we break them, it would be really, really, really helpful. Okay, and they will, for example, does not manage to rally. Yeah, let's try. So during the disadvantage air mission, we attack from the task force one. Gosh, the range 8, 1, 2, 3, 4. They cannot reach to A2. So we simply finish this. We remove the detection, and we move 2 days forward and start a new day, not with lightning, but with a weather roll. And the weather is much worse now. It's squall +2 for the naval search. Lightning, we go to the dusk. It's what Americans would like to have. Advantage determination. So Americans go first. We will do that with those guys here, those guys here, those guys here. Do we search for them? There will be no fight yet. We could, but that doesn't make any sense. Any air missions during the dusk? No, because our planes would need to undergo then this landing, and with L0 we need to roll 0 not to be hit, so rather not. Then we go to disadvantage movement, trying to reach A2 with some reinforcements, although I have a feeling it might be really difficult. Okay, at the end of the movement phase, we could the submarines, yes? At the conclusion of any movement phase, each side receives a single once per game submarine attack. We'll wait with this. We'll still wait with this. So we'll finish the day. We move 2 hexes here. We are close to the landings. First of all, the weather. The weather is, I wanted to say good. No, it's fog. It's fog. Lightning goes to night. Yeah, the Americans want to have night. And now the Japanese are first. So they move here. Task Force 1 and Task Force 4. They potentially could be landing pretty soon. Advantage movement. Okay. Let me see. Now there will be no air missions, and let me do disadvantage movement. They will move here and here, and those guys move here. And now, if Japanese are here first, then anybody who enters this hex cannot do the amphibious assault immediately, because as long as you have the naval units in the hex, you cannot just unload your troops. We will jump 2 days further. We'll roll for the weather. Big roll. 7. Oh, it's squall. Now we will move here to day AM. And now very important advantage determination. If Japanese are first, then they can enter this hex and prevent, at least for some time, the landing. If Americans are first, they can go there and I think do a really huge performance, let's say, and try to take the R2. One thing which we would like to do, we potentially could during the night, of course, search here with those long-range bombers. There was such a potential. I'm just checking. They need to go here to deactivate. Okay, it should not be a problem. There is still like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 phases. So Americans should be still able to deactivate. And for the Japanese, it's all or nothing. Yeah. So, and in the previous games, they were able to deactivate in Komandorski. So it doesn't say in this scenario, but I will assume so. Fine. A huge role, a big role, a very important role. Japanese. So they definitely go here during their advantage movement phase. And do they combine their task forces? No, they don't. But we can search for each other. Remember, we have squads, so we add 2 to the roll. Each hex can be searched only once, so we can do actually a couple of searches. They move here, both sides can search. I would like to search with this long range aircraft against those guys. It's 2 hexes, this is 0 to 5, but plus 2, this is 0 to 3. No. Now they try to search with any plane on those ships. Yeah, we have recon planes here, so we can do it now. This is 2 hexes on the normal, 0 to 4, but we have of course squad, so this is 0 to 2. Okay, this task force is found. Nevertheless, they go further. Okay, and there is another search phase. After this hex, we try to search with those guys for the task force 2. Again, this is a normal plane, but on the range 1, so normally it's 0 to 5, but plus 2 for the squad, so 0 to 3. Yes, and we found them. And I believe we'll be using the submarines in a moment. And now they try to find, they have planes here, they have planes here, yeah, so plenty of unused task forces. They try to find this task force 2. Again, range 1, the fighters, yeah, and 0 to 3. No, they are not found. Fine. Now we will use the submarines. We are firing with the submarines against this AA1. Yeah. 0, 1, 2. Not much chances. Close, but not. Americans will also fire. Where we should fire? Let me fire again at this destroyer. 0, 1, 2. Nothing. So that's all. Now, do we do any air missions with the Japanese? No, we don't. We don't have a naval combat. We have bombardment, which does not take place. Ground combat does not. Now we have the disadvantage air mission sniper. First of all, disadvantage movement. So as always, we can search. Just a reminder for everybody. I saw a lot of questions recently on the Board Game Geek. We can search during the advantage movement, advantage air mission, disadvantage movement, disadvantage air mission, and there is this rule of 1 + 1 + 1. What does it mean? So movement phase search. Both players are entitled to conduct searches with all other combat units and submarine patrols with the following restrictions, and there are 3 main restrictions. A hex can be searched only once during this phase. A task force can be searched for only once during the phase, whether it moves or not. A submarine and the first unit can conduct only one search per movement phase. So I think we would like to go here, to move here. And when we move here, all task forces will be in this spot. Now, does it make sense to do the searches now? I tell you, no, that does not make sense, because we will be removing this. There will be no naval combat. The disadvantaged player has this disadvantage that he cannot actually search for the naval unit and initiate the battle. And to make sure that I am right, yes, I'm right. This works exactly like this. So we go to the end, we jump with A2, and we have another enormously important two roles. The first role is, of course, for the weather. The second is for lightning, unless we would like to have day PM, which Americans might want. And the third one is, of course, for the advantage. A huge naval battle is about to ensue. Of course, we removed those things. So we are now first rolling for the weather. Mayweather 9, we stay with squall, so +2 to naval searches. Now the lightning. I think the Americans does not want to risk. They will go +2. This is what they can do with the special ability of the operating player. And now advantage. So Americans are first. So as for the movement, they will not move much. They will start with searches. And remember that the hex can be only searched once. And we'll have a naval battle, that's for sure. So Americans are searching for the naval unit in a hex during a day, which is up to 8. But because of a squall, it is up to 6. Yes, they are found. And now for the Japanese, they have a similar chances up to 6. Yes. They found themselves, yeah. Task Force 1, Task Force 1. Let me just check one thing. Okay. Then we have advanced air missions. Remember, we are in restricted water, which means that we will be really fighting on the close range, I think. Okay, so that way we would have some missions. We have some nice planes here, and they will try to attack this task force because the anti-air is much smaller. I think we need to start now work with our charge for the attacks. For now, I will remove this. I hope, guys, that you will see the roles. Let me just check the camera. Yeah, it should work for you, I think. Now, we are trying the airstrike here. The airstrike is automatically coordinated. We try to search for them. We attack with task force 1. We can only attack task force 1 because this is the one which we found. The flag procedure, the cap procedure will be before the strike if we manage to detect this attacking unit. Yeah, let me just put it here. And if we don't, we'll have it otherwise. Actually, we'll not have cap because we don't have planes. So the search is in the hex during the day. Search for air is up to 5. And this is Japanese. No, we didn't find them. So they went through the enemy and they will be attacking. This is L04 -3, this is on 1. And let me attack, for example, some of those carriers here. So one fighter versus naval. No, unfortunately not. And now the flag. The flag is horrendous. It's 6. Let's see. 6-0. Oh my goodness. 6-0. Unimproved flag. They are lucky. Flag unimproved. It's only one hit. Improved would probably shut down. Not the best beginning, but don't worry, that was not the point. The point is what will happen now. Naval combat determination. And as far as I read the rules, because this is a tricky thing, we have some of the naval task forces which are found and some of them are not found. And of course, all of them will be joining the fight. I think that reading literally the rules, we are at the point where so in this case, we have the situation if the opposing naval units have detected one another in any type of water, we begin naval combat phase without any surprises. And this is my understanding that we should do it like this. In general, we should choose 4 of them, but to be more thematic, I suggest that we will go with a Task Force 1 and Task Force 1 as the first ones. So this would be those guys being moved here. Oh my goodness, that could be painful. Yes, that's the first part of them. That's the second part of them. We should put only 4. Yes. So sorry, not everybody. If 4, completely forgot about those rules. If 4, let me just bring the battleships. 3 battleships from the core. Wow, huge ones. And some destroyer, or maybe New Orleans. Here we would have, let me check their parameters. Yeah, those torpedoes are killers, so I'd really like to have them. Let me see, whom do we have here? Poor guys, poor. So let me bring them here to preserve the better units for later on. Oh, by the way, we cannot take the Task Force 2. We agreed that I need to take Task Force 1. So in the first turn, we do the determination. Water is coastal or restricted. Let me see. This is that color. And the battlefield force would be coastal water. So this is coastal. And if it's coastal water and we are during the day, coastal water day dusk, so we'll be at medium. So this is not bad. We are at medium. Let me put it here. There is no surprise. Could be here. So we'll be firing at the medium range. And we'll start with the Americans. And let me see how much hits. 6, 4, 6, 6. The 3 of them will target those destroyers. That guy will target that. And we'll be rolling on medium range naval versus naval. 9, nothing. They roll on 3. Nothing. And the third one. There is probably a 1 hit. That's most probably 3 on 3. This will be the first column. Yeah, 1 hit. course, we take into account the hits on the ships only later, once the whole battle, once the whole round ends. Now those guys fire here on 2. Nothing. Now the Japanese will answer. They will all concentrate on Nevada. Let it be Nevada. Here we have -1, 0, 2, 2. Do we use torpedoes? No, we won't use torpedoes yet. We won't use torpedoes. Okay. One more thing which I would like to check. We will have 3 phases. If we survive till the 3rd phase, we would be able to hit at this those ground troops. Yeah, let's see. Everybody hits at Nevada. -1, 8, nothing. 0, close, nothing. 2, nothing. Nothing. Now in the 2nd turn, we can bring some more units. Yeah, so definitely Japanese are bringing those. I think we need to bring 4 units. Place 4 more naval units. So they will bring those guys from the Task Force 4, just for my understanding and for me to remember. And as they already started the fight, no surprise. Bidding. They would like to be close, they would like to be long, because they are waiting for those to come and only then hit at them. Let's say if they can survive. So they put the long range, they put the short range. So we are at medium, long and short. So it becomes short. Fine, it will be a battle to remember. I told you about it. This is Task Force 1. This is Task Force 2. Yes, it was medium, one long, the other short. It's short. Would Japanese manage to survive just to inflict some hits on the ground units? Let's see. We will start, we'll use the torpedoes. On short, we'll definitely use torpedoes. We have 1 torpedo here, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 torpedo capable ships here. Okay, let me put those torpedo guys over there. So who shoots at whom? I think we'll take care of those torpedo capable ships, because they are very dangerous as Americans. So they will shoot at those guys. They will shoot, actually will shoot at those guys, because they have more chances to hit our transports. And they will use torpedoes. So all of them shooting at those guys. And all of them shooting at those guys. Starting here, this is 2 on close. We just need to mark where we will be looking. Short range. Do I have anything handy? We can use this. No, it's not gonna work. Simply short range, which is naval. Up to 2, nothing. Now torpedoes up to 4. Nothing. Those 4, 5, 4. 4, nothing. 5, nothing. 4, nothing. What a poor rolling, really poor rolling. Now, all of those guys, they said they fire here. They would like to change it, but you cannot do it once you started to fire. So 7, 7, 7, and 5. That will be painful. Of course. 7. We fire with 2. We go here. This is short range versus naval. This is another 3 hits. Let's put them aside a little. Because I do not count it. Another 7 roll. Oh my goodness, 7-0 would be a huge hit. Short range versus naval. Yeah, this is 3 hits. They are sunk. No more fire. We should probably divide it more. So we put 5, but will inflict those losses after they have possibility to react. All of those guys will of course torpedo. Use the torpedoes. Thought it would be much more one-sided battle, but as you can see now, and those also have torpedoes. Yes, they have torpedoes. So what we do? When you use the torpedo, you also need to use the main guns against particular ship. So we'll try to take down those battleships. Yes. Those 3 guys shoot at the Nevada, and those 3 at Pennsylvania. And first of all, we'll use torpedoes. It was 1 hit on him, so it's torpedo 6, up to 6. 6, 2. That could be painful because this is torpedo hit and torpedo hit here. Submarine or naval versus naval. 3 hits at Pennsylvania. Then he has normal gunnery with 1. By the way, they do not have 0, guys. The Japanese have 2 torpedo shots. Okay. Now, gunnery 1, 0. 1, 0 at short range. This is 1 hit. 4th, and we have still the critical hit possibility. 8 are 2 critical hits. My goodness, you know what happened? Pennsylvania is just sunk. They fire, but already this ship is sunk, so nothing happens. Now, those 3 ships against Nevada. That was most unusual, I can tell you. Okay, we go. 1, 2, 3 against them. The torpedoes are torpedo 2. Yeah, torpedo 2. 1, 2, 1. We go here, and that is torpedo 1 hit. Of course, those hits, yeah, they were already firing, so let me just do some cleanup here. It will not cost anything more. Yeah, 2 ships or groups of ships are sunk. Now, those fired with torpedoes, now with regular 5 gunnery, 8 nothing. Now those torpedoes on 4. My goodness, 0. 4, 0. Torpedo 3 hits with torpedoes. Now on -1 we fire -1 because this is 2 -3, yeah, so left nothing. And here we have torpedoes 0 and gunnery 1. Torpedoes 0, nothing. Gunnery 1, nothing, but close. So that was huge. That was huge because now the Americans need to put all their ships here. I will not be, by the way, maybe I will move them just to remember. Yeah, this is the screen. And they have also torpedoes. During the turn 3, you need to move everybody, including those guys. And what is more important, those guys. This is Task Force 4. This is Task Force 2. This is Task Force 4. And we of course left 2 hits on the screen, and those 2 hits were with Bagley. I believe here. And they will be using the torpedoes. Wow, what a grand battle. What a really, truly grand battle. And the core for Task Force 1 is unfortunately also here. So let me start with the Americans firing versus Japanese. Okay. They will all use torpedoes, the ones who didn't so far. And where do we need to shoot at home? I would say those 4 goes here, those APD also should know with AA. Those 2 goes here. Then APD can shoot most probably, yes. So those guys, how much do we have here? It's not a big ship, rather small. And those are the larger ones, C6, and then this is C6. Okay, we'll do that way. Those 4 here, those guys here, and those just to finish those destroyers. Let's see if we can do it. Now we should add those guys. Those all. 4, the main gunnery, nothing. Now 2 main gunnery and then torpedoes. 2 main gunnery, nothing. Now 4 here. 4 torpedoes, nothing. Now those guys 2 main gunnery, 5 torpedoes versus Takao. Main gunnery, yes, there is a hit. 2-1, I believe it's just 1 hit on short, yeah, I will add it in a moment. And then we have torpedoes 4. Torpedoes 4 would be also 1 hit, so 2 hits at Takao. Now those guys, 0 gunnery, 3 torpedoes. 0 gunnery, not this way. 5, and now torpedoes, nothing. Sorry, torpedoes were 3, so there will be a hit. 3, 2. Yes, we have 1 more hit here. Deadly battle. And now we jump to those guys 5 with the gunnery. We should move this, of course. 5 with gunnery, 5, this will be 1 hit, 1 more hit at them. Now, those guys, 7 and 7, 7 and 3, fire at those guys. 7 and 3, 7, 4, nice. 7, 4, at short range, 2 hits. And now 3, 6, nothing. But 2 hits are implemented here. Nice. Now all those guys and these destroyers. And those destroyers. Or maybe those, you know, let me just split them those here. It doesn't make much difference. Gunnery 4 versus those destroyers. Nothing. Gunnery 5 versus those destroyers. Yes, 5, 2. That would be some nice hit, yeah. 2 hits. Now 4, gunnery. Nothing. And now gunnery 2 and then torpedoes 4. Gunnery 2, 1. This is 1 hit. And that's all because they have 6. So they would anyhow not survive regardless of whether we roll more. Those 2 ships against this ship. Gunnery 1 from APD Oh, 0. 1, 0. How we did it? This is on short. This is 1 hit. And remember, those guys have only 2. Okay. And now for the critical hit. 7. This is another one, so these are 2 hits, and they are also down. Now the Japanese will start to fire. Not so many of them will be left after this turn, but they can inflict the damage. A huge damage, of course. Those guys should have that. Okay, so who will be first? Okay, those guys. We'll need to target those transports, yes. We need to target them. You can see how much do they have here. Quick check at the number of hits. Okay, important note about the hits. If a naval unit takes a hit, only 1 hit is inflicted on the units being transported. If a naval unit is eliminated, whatever it is carrying, it is also eliminated. This is for DDs and APDs. So DD and APD, only 1 hit at both units. And in case of AA units, there are 2 hits. So if I'm firing here, we will be inflicting 2 hits on those divisional units, and on those regimental only 1 hit. So, of course, all torpedoes will be gone. We can take it out, and we'll be firing like hell with those torpedoes. So, first of all, we'll be firing 1, 2, 3. Those 3 will fire here, those here, those here. Like, there are some chances, but let's see. To do some damage. Gunnery 1 and then torpedo 6 versus AA1. Gunnery 1, nothing. Torpedo 6, 3. 6, 3. I believe this is 2 hits and 1 on the unit. Okay, let me just start piling this up here. So this is 9 and this is 2 here. Now those guys, 5 and torpedo 4. Gunnery 5, nothing. Torpedo 4, nothing. Now those guys, 5 and then torpedo 2. 5, 4, I believe this is 1 hit. 5 and we rolled 4. Yes, this is 1 hit, so we have 3 hits and 10 hits here. Okay, 10 hits here and 3 hits here. Sorry, there were doubles here, so we have in fact 12 for those. And now they have still torpedoes on 4. Last roll, 0, 4, 0. Torpedoes inflict 3 hits. Oh my god. This is completely sunk. They did not survive. The cost is huge, but they did not survive. These were those 3 ships. Now those fire with -1 on gunnery and 4 at torpedoes. -1 on gunnery and 3 on torpedoes. 4 on torpedoes. 4 on torpedoes. Oh my goodness, 0. 4, 0. These are 3 hits on the ship. So here. And how much it is on the units? One hit on the units transported, so one of those will be hit. Okay, and those guys fire here. They have one gunnery and then 0 torpedoes. One gunnery, nothing. 0 torpedoes, nothing. Okay, that concludes our battle. We have a couple of ships less. Start. Okay, guys, I'm back with you. I reorganized a little the task forces. Both sides are badly beaten, as you can see. Japanese lost 2 ships groups, Americans also. So I think after this climatic land battle, that would be all what we'll see today, because both sides would be too exhausted to fight further. What will happen now? We will be executing the Amphibious Assault. You can read about amphibious transport and assault in point 23.8. And when we will be disembarking, all those units will use their PCM. Yeah, because they will be used. Before this disembarking, we'll of course do the bombardment, but not to forget, I just moved them around. We'll not have this division. Remember, the division was sunk with a ship. That's unfortunate. Okay, the ground combat phase will be here. Normally, if we would have naval units when we arrived at the hex, we would not be able to unload our troops. But of course, we arrived at this hex as Americans already a turn ago. So it's completely okay to do it now. The bombardment, we have a lot of ships, American ships, which can do bombardment, will be against those 2 units, this regiment and this is battalion. The battalion is really strong, 7 troop quality. The regiment is much weaker. That is why what we shall do, we'll bombard first and foremost those guys, try to break them. We have pretty nice bombardment, 2, 5, 4, 4, and we should have, I believe, 6 over here. So how shall we divide it? Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be firing at those. Those 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 will be firing at those. And I think it will be reasonably easy to break the regiment, but much more harder to break those troops in battalion. Let me just look for the broken markers. Yeah, I have some. Good. So we'll be rolling. As usually, we need to roll up to the strength value of the fire. So 4, 4, sorry, 5, 2, and 6 against those units first. 4, 4, 0. Okay, 4, 0. I believe this will be troop quality check. Bombardment versus ground unit. Yes. This is a troop quality check, and only 1 troop quality is done per turn. So even if we manage to hit with others, nothing will happen. On 0 to 3, they pass. Below, they fail. They passed. Okay. So the second part of bombardment comes from those ships up to 6, 4, 2, 5, and 2. It's really hard to do some losses only here, so that would be really like on 7. So we will not be able to do the losses, but we can at least do the troop quality check. So firing up to 6, 8, up to 4, 0. I believe this is the same troop quality check here. And this is a big roll. those troops actually are very good quality ones. So let's see how does it go. It's 7. If we roll up to 7, wait, hold on. 8. Okay, that changes everything. That changes everything because now the ratio would not be so detrimental for the Americans, and we'll probably get in the end more historical result. So this is the combat table, the grand combat table. Whom do we have? We have those 3 regiments assaulting here, and because they are assaulting, their troop quality is halved to 3. And let this be the leading unit. Then we have here the units, and the broken units also have a troop quality halved up to 4. Because you round up. So we have attacker quality 3, defender quality 4. So we add 9. Column 9 is here. 10 is more or less the column in the middle. Now, the terrain we have here is, I believe, mixed. This is the closest color I can see, so this is mixed, and that would have an impact on the fight because in the mixed terrain we shift 3 columns to the left, so from 9 to 6. This is the first thing we have. Now we need to see the size ratio, so die roll modifiers and we divide the number of attacking steps by the number of defending steps. The attacking steps is 3, 3, 8, 8. And here we have 3, I believe, yes, because this is 2 plus 1, 3. 8 to 3 is over 2, and over 2 does not give us anything. From 3 to almost 4 is minus 1, more than 4 it's minus 2. What is important is that there will be a huge loss on both sides, so that can potentially save us and result in a positive value for Americans. The way I'm playing it now is that we all attack at the same time. Another way to attack would be to attack with 1 ship, put the unit there, manage to survive, and then put another unit there. But then we would not have a troop quality halved because yes, we would already be there. It's not so easy to do it. I prefer to attack in a one go. So we are in column 6, and the number of steps which are fighting, we have 3 here, yeah, and we have 8 there. Should we have this division with 8 steps, that would be completely different story. Yeah, of course. So 8 plus 3 is 11, so we'll be on with 16 losses. And the first part are the attacker losses, I believe, and the second part are the defender losses. And we could have also a mandatory defender retreat, and we can have, of course, also the mandatory attacker retreat, and a huge roll in front of us. Let's see what's come out of it. Okay. No die roll modifiers, 3 to the left due to the mixed terrain, and we roll 3, which is not a bad result. 6, 3, it's here on 6, 16. So the attackers got 2 losses, and the defender got 1 loss. Okay, the tricky thing is now that both sides have an optional retreat. And if we disregard the optional retreat, both sides will deactivate. And if we are to retreat, we'll use up 1 additional BCM. This is exactly what we have in Grand Combat Resolution. Yeah. So the thing is that we don't have a good choice, even though we managed to broke those guys here. The solution to this attack could be this two-pronged, two-phase attack when those guys first attack and stay there, because then they would deactivate and then they come and add to this. We wanted to shift this with one attack. By the way, sorry guys, this hit is not here. The hit is here because this was the leading unit, and which means this unit is destroyed here. Yeah, of course, this unit is destroyed. So what happens? I think we should stay here. So I will not be retreating. So in the ground combat resolution, if a player chooses, I will read you the rules so you know more. Yeah. If a personal player chooses not to retreat, the reaction player has the option to retreat one hex. If the reaction player also chooses not to retreat, both forces remain in the hex, and each force loses the number of steps specified for it on the CRT. This is we did. Both forces then deactivate, forfeiting any available BCM. Oh, exactly. We can potentially also try to retreat to the ships. From what I read, if the unit passes check, we can also try to pass the troop quality check, but it will be really, really hard. They were landing with a troop quality of 3 to assault. So if we fail the check, we would need to retreat. We would need to lose all this CRT which we had, and we'll have to deactivate. So it's better for me, from let's say long-term perspective, to leave those units here. They will, of course, they have, of course, not managed to push the Japanese out, but they set the foothold there. And looking at the scenario results now. Does Japanese control Atu at the end of scenario? It is contested, so I would not say that they fully control it. As the number of ships sink, here we have a capital ship sink, here we have non-capital ship sink, and I believe the Japanese didn't have any capital ship sunk. So Japanese actually sank more than Americans. Yeah. So I would say it will be Japanese marginal victory. Thank you very much, guys, for being with me in this video. If I made any mistakes, I'm very sorry. Please bear with me. We are finishing here because both sides are too battered to continue anymore. Both will sail out here to Komandorski and to, I believe, Adak, yeah, to deactivate. They have still enough time to do it. The Atu is occupied now by both sides, by 3 regiments from American regiments and 1 Japanese. So it's only a matter of time before Americans push them out. The huge loss for Americans is here. So the 7th Division, which was destroyed in the naval battle, and also the huge loss is here. So Pennsylvania, but of course the Japanese lost almost all of his fleet in this battle. As you can see, the scenario is pretty interesting, probably the best out of those 3 Aleutians, and that can give you a lot of joy. If you like this video, please do not hesitate to give a thumbs up. If you'd like to see more content like this, I strongly encourage you to subscribe. Such a small content creator like the Board Games Chronicle really need your help, guys. Thank you for today. I will be back with further battle scenarios. There is still some of them which we can present and show to you. Thank you, and bye for today.